Here on Dust2, Magisk is the Bianca for Astralis, and in this one we're going to learn how he locks down mid and tunnels whilst playing heavily for information on that B site. So on this one, Astralis, they know that G2 have forced up. Dupree is going to smoke tunnels, Magisk is going to nade deep, and now playing off sound, it's up into the corner, he dodges the flashes, it's 2 fast kills, and he will finish off the third here with the pistol. What we should talk about on this one is how you should play anti-eco here on this B site, and perhaps you should do the same as Astralis did here, playing double site, bring your teammate with you, and then perhaps smoking the tunnel. Maybe you can nade, get one of you up close, one of you sitting back on the site, and play as a duo against those fast B players, because there's always a good chance those happening on these 4 spy rounds, and then you can shut them down as Astralis did here. So let's see how Magisk plays when he is solo on the site early. Now crossing mid a little bit closer because they're using the doors cross smoke. And then coming in, he's going to molly tunnels, move a little bit closer, and he's going to smoke onto the molly, just like so. And then nade as well for good measure. Now the reason he's dropping all of his nades early like this is because his other B player in device is leaning so far towards mid that Magisk, he knows he's very exposed here if he wants to get popped or execs into. He's going to drop all of his nades early and buy a little bit of time whilst device can lean mid. And then later on, they'll fall into playing more of a standard kind of double site setup. The next up, we're going to see Magisk reacting to the tunnels progression smoke. And you're going to see it coming in just a moment, bouncing off the wall. Now instantly, just hearing the noise, Magisk knows what's coming in. And this tunnels progression smoke is going to land just outside the entrance to tunnels. And you see this throughout all levels of play, from matchmaking to pugs, all the way up to the team game. And let's see how Magisk reacts when he knows this smoke is coming in. So watching Magisk, he moves immediately into playing this corner. He jiggles out a little bit, but for the most part, he is playing anti-flash, and that is the key point here. Whenever this smoke goes down the T side, they need to pop through it to get onto the site. So as long as you're dodging the flashes, you're going to stand a much better chance. So Magisk playing in this spot, he dodges the close flash and the deep flash. He hears Amanek jumping, he peeks out and he gets the frag onto him, as well as a spray through of the smoke for a second kill for good measure. Following this up, he's going to flash over mid, peek out for a little bit of information, and just peek around on the site, playing for information now they're in a 4 versus 1. So this round's just a great example of how Magisk plays early round when he's solo. He drops all his nades, he buys time whilst his other players can lean a bit more mid, and then playing versus that tunnels progression smoke. Get yourself into a spot where you're anti-flash from those entry flashes, dodge those flashes, and you'll stand a much better chance when the actual exec or pop comes in. So as a quick side point, whenever you're playing the B site on the CT side of Dust2, make sure you get one of your teammates to smoke for the cross, just like so, as device does here off of that box. So Magisk making his way onto B, and again he's playing solo early, so once again he's going to molly the tunnels, move a bit closer, then smoke onto the molly to buy himself some more time before moving into the cubby, just like so, and then coming in and out of playing anti-flash. And again, he's trying to dodge the flashes in case the T side were to pop through that smoke. So as Dupree comes over, they're now going to play more of a kind of standard double site setup, and Magisk, he's going to fall back to playing the site itself. Whenever you're playing as the Bianca on Dust2, you need to be spending a lot of your life playing for information, just like so as Magisk is doing here. So the way he's playing for it, getting himself onto the box, he's jiggling tunnels. When he knows that's clear, he jumps spot mid, looking through the window, just like so. And it's very important you don't just sit back and play a static angle on your M4, because the T side will just contact out, and more often than not, they will get the frag onto you to play for information, just like Magisk is doing here. So Liquid, they're going to be going for a B split. As it comes in, Magisk, he flashes for Glaive to come through. The second flash does white him, but even so, they do get themselves into a man advantage. Now with Magisk, gets himself into playing window, he does spot a player there, himself up again, he's going to swing out a nice frag here onto Stu, but unfortunately all the other players are going down, and Magisk, he's now in a really tricky spot. He backs himself off, gets 1 kill onto window, he does his best to kill the other players, but there's nothing Magisk can do in this situation. But overall, a really mega round there from Magisk, playing solo early well, using his nades, then working well off the B split, playing for information. Everything happened in this round. This was a great example of how to anchor the B site on Dust2 and work well with your teammates. So far, we've seen plenty of rounds of Magisk molling tunnels and then smoking onto it and playing up close. But what are some other opening options for the Danish player. So first up, we're going to see Magisk mollying tunnels, just like so. And on this round, he's going to swing behind the molly a bit more aggressively and then play this kind of off angle on the right. And he's going to fall back into another off angle on the left side. So of course, this is a bit more of an aggressive opening. A good spawn here will definitely help you out. And of course, when you swing close behind the molly, you have the advantage versus the other players you might be facing. And you'll definitely get some frags doing this in matchmaking your pugs. Perhaps at the kind of more higher level team game, it won't work. The T-sides won't be facing you. But on this occasion, a good opening option for Magisk, and you should definitely add it to your wheelhouse. For our second example, we're again going to have Magisk mollying tunnels early. You might be spotting a pattern here, but this time he's going to fall into playing an angle in window, just like so. Now Magisk, he's just going to stay in this angle for a few seconds, and the reason he's playing this angle is in case the T side were to rush onto the B side, in case they potentially smokes on that molly, flashed in and came through with numbers. And in this sort of spot, what Magisk wants to do is just to get one kill, then fall out and stay alive and play the retake with his teammates. That's really the key thing about this. What we're going to see is that Magisk, after a few seconds, he knows the T side isn't rushing in, so he moves around a little bit more and starts playing for a bit of information. Now, clearly on this one, the T side don't rush, and instead, they're actually going for some long control, and soon enough for Astralis, they'll find themselves actually in a 4-on-5 scenario. Magisk, he knows there's many players outside long, so he's just playing really heavily for information here. And after going man down Astralis, the call is we're going to play into mid. So instead of playing the site Magisk, he falls out, he plays mid, just like so, holding the tunnels. And this is so he can pivot into kind of fighting mid with his teammates, like Dupree and Device here, and really help them if they came into fighting in mid. So these two examples are just some really good ones. Just important to have a good variety of early options like Magisk does here, so that T's can't predict where you're playing, and you're always kind of switching up and catching them off guard. So of course, as a B-site player on the CT side of Dust2, sometimes you'll need to be pushing tunnels to get yourself and your team some information. So in this round, Magisk, he has no molly. So instead, I'm just going to flash and cross the tunnels and play it in my favorite cubby is Magisk. So in this round, Astralis, they get the man advantage, but Glaive pushing up mid just here. He's going to go down to Boomich, who had the bombs. Now, they spotted the bomb outside long, and of course, they're well aware they've lost long control in the first place. So at this point, Astralis, they know that Na'Vi has so many numbers towards long. And in this 4-on-4, this is definitely a T-sided situation. So Magisk, he's going to feel very compelled to push up into tunnels and get himself some information. And winding forward a little bit, that's exactly what we're going to see here from Magisk. As he pushes in, gets some kind of full map control here, allowing Dupree to rotate off and then to kind of stack towards the A bomb site. So at this point, Astralis, they know it's extremely likely that Na'Vi are at least around long at the moment and are very likely to end this round towards long. So at this point, they're just posturing here on Na'Vi, and Device, he's going to throw some nades towards short. Astralis is going to kind of remove short from the equation and allow themselves to focus all their attention towards long. Winding forward a little bit to get more into this execute. So at this point, Astralis, they have all the information now. Magisk, he's pushing tunnels. He gets some information there as well. Device, he's getting all the frags. 2 fast kills for him and gets the third. And even though here, obviously, you know, Device, he gets all the frags. He gets a 4K on this round. It's really playing man down, getting that information in towards tunnels, and especially from someone like Magisk being proactive, getting that information, allowing the rest of his team to lean towards A and focus towards long when that exec came in. So earlier on, we talked through a couple of opening options for Magisk, and here we're going to see kind of a bonus option you could throw in. Dupree's on the AWP here, but you want a secondary AWP as the anchor, you do that as well. So on his top spawn, Dupree peeks tunnels early. He has Magisk with him. Magisk just playing anti-flash at the start in case of a rush, but Dupree now, he's pushing in through all of the angles and taking X-ray off. You can see this nice frag. He's pushing through, clearing the stairs, and he will find this frag onto Perfecto now with his kill. Dupree's going to keep that AWP moving. Well played from him. He's going to swap into mid. And Magisk will just sit back and play for information and keep Astralis in a good position come the late round, but they'll come out on top. So that wraps up for this look at Magisk on the CT side of Dust2 playing towards that B site. Do you want to see more content like this in the future? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.